Right, now there's been a lot of talk in Project X among the associates about dentists. So I said to them, why don't we do a consultation series? So yeah, so what we're going to do, the consultation series, basically we need evidence from the public, first-hand evidence. This is not what people think. This is from manufacturers, dentists themselves. We don't really want to know about bad experiences you've had. What we want is why everything seems to be so expensive, and why, even in a place where, like in England, where the NHS pays dentist fees, why do people still have to pay extra on top? And some of the things they do, you know, take seconds and seem to cost a fortune. But on the other hand, we did have a couple of months ago a talk to somebody who's doing dental training in a college somewhere, and they're having to work on pigs' heads, which sounds, you know, if I went through however many, that's another thing, how many years does it take? It's between 3 and 5. You know, if you had to work on a pig's head every single day for 3 or 5 years, you know, I would want big bucks after that. And then again, how do you get into a dental practice? If you've started one, how do you start that? And all the pitfalls. I mean, there must be government red tape all over the place for these things. Right, I'm going to go on to start with these. I'll start the consultations with what's happened to me in the past. For a start, one good thing that I thought was quite good, our local dentist, I lost this tooth was a cap for years and years, for about 30 years. So hats off to that dentist too who did that. And then it snapped off on an apple, which was probably my fault. But our local dentist that I go to, Indian fella, who seemed to be really good, said, why don't I have one of these bridge things? And they're not actually a bridge with 3 teeth, they're one tooth and 2 sort of like flaps either side which stick to the backs of the tooth next to them. So I said yes. I said, how much is that? And it was £200, which I thought was pretty reasonable considering someone's got to make the tooth and everything. So that was a good thing about dentists. But on the other hand, for about a year and a half, I was a postman, and I knew everybody in one particular town. I won't tell you where it is, but they might recognise me. It was the doctors and the dentists and people like that who seemed to have the big houses with all the cars. So it just points out who's making what, you know. So now I think that, you know, £2,000 or £3,000 for a implant, which obviously is a lovely new thing that where you don't have to worry about the tooth afterwards, and you can change them. If one breaks, you change it for another one. So yeah, but they're still making bridges and things. If someone can't afford an implant, they can afford a bridge. So, you know, I want to know about all this, and then we're going to put it to our boys. What we do, we send out the results of all the emails to 450, 500 members, and they come back to us with what they really think, so we get an overall view, but we mind your view too. So it's going to be Project X, first consultancy. consultancy. We'll call it v01, because there'll probably be more than 100 of these. And underneath, dentists. There we go. So yeah, so that was that. Now, other members, I've looked at a few emails from our lot, and basically they're saying, you know, the stuff's overpriced. They're charging the government and charging us. A 10-minute appointment, how much is that? You know, how much do you dentists charge? How much does the government take off you? And how much do they pay you? Then obviously there's all the things like assistants' wages and rent and rates and equipment. Equipment must be terrific. You know, we want to know all this. And why does it appear, I mean, some dentists might say, oh no, I still live in a flat, or I still live with my mum. But, you know, it seems that the people with that own the whole practice, you know, anyway, it's always been a bit of a, you know, I've always thought, why is it all so expensive? Is it because innovations are coming in and it's all new? And white fillings have been around since I was a boy. Why doesn't everyone have white fillings instead of these metal ones? What harm do the metal ones do? There's a grey area as to whether they're actually any good for you or not. I know some people who've been diagnosed with certain diseases have gone and have them all replaced with white fillings. Why did they do that? And then there's the NHS putting blocks on things. Like once I went wild and made an appointment in London and booked the hotel and went for a consultation appointment to have all my teeth removed and replaced with 2 implant horseshoes. So you'd have a top jaw and a bottom jaw fixed with 6 implants. So you never have to worry about them again. But that was going to be 5,000. But by the time the consultancy finished, they were saying, no, sorry, you've got lots of good teeth, and the NHS won't let us take those out. So I sat there for an hour and a half in this dentist chair while they went over every single tooth and checked it all and said, right, that one needs a veneer, this one needs a bridge, this one needs so and so and so and so. And by the time they'd finished it came to 9,000. So, and this was going to take 2 or 3 hours. So, you know, I don't know, I'm not sure how you can justify where all the costs go for £9,000 in a couple of hours. You know, where does that all go? I don't know. So that's another thing. So we want all aspects of dentistry. We know most of it, but we want feedback from the people who are in the middle of it. We don't want any fake news, you see. We don't want to be reading stuff on the internet and that someone else has written. We want it, you know, obviously if you're a dentist you're going to butter yourself up, and if you're a client you're going to say how bad it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to put everything together, use an algorithm to say between good and bad. So it's going to be almost like a voting thing, but with every aspect of people's complaints and praises all taken into consideration. Now there might not be a result from this, but when there is, we'll put there'll be a probably update or something. So we'll do updates as we get more information. But yeah, and it's okay to give us information because nothing leaves us, no names, nothing. We're dead against all that. And obviously our members, I'm the only one, I've got a number, Project X number on here, but I'm not actually I'm the only one who people know by face and by name. The other 400 or 500 people have all got numbers and that's it. So they're completely anonymous. So nobody can get to them and bribe them. And then there's all the, I wouldn't say whistleblowers. They're people in various agencies around England who feed us information. So we've given them a number. It's different from these numbers, but they completely anonymously feed us information. In fact, I don't know who they are, and a lot of the 450, 500, I don't know who they are either. Obviously, I know a few are because we're here. So yeah, so don't worry about any information or your name getting anywhere or anything with any of these consultancies, because the whole thing is based on that. So we don't get fake news, nobody gets into trouble, there's no libel or anything like that. So yeah, so we'll leave this running for probably a year or so, just to see what's going on, to see why they've got those. I mean, if they work hard, they've got to have a big house and a big car. They might have been left it by their parents. I don't know. But how much do they earn? How much do you earn? You know, put anonymous and say, yes, I earn this much if I do this much overtime, etc., etc. We need to feed all that into our central computer. And that's it. But yeah, like I was saying, you go in, they're all nice. There's a new one called My Dentist, which appears, you know, ours is My Dentist now, and where my daughter goes for her braces is a My Dentist. And but like I say, okay, she's got a gap that's not shut yet. Her teeth are all straight. So they haven't taken it off yet, but it's been 3 years. Now, for every appointment they eke that out. Are they getting paid? And how much? Is it worth keeping a poor girl in braces knowing her teeth aren't going to move anymore? You know, that's another thing. And she seems to be there. You know, we get there, sometimes we go in early, sometimes we're out before the appointment time even. But I expect that's where we live in Wales. I expect that's because there's not many people, or less people than if you're in London or something. But yeah, she's had the braces for 3 years now. Is that normal? I don't know. If a gap won't shut for the last year, is it going to shut? Or do they just keep it rolling to get more money from the NHS or whoever it is? Yeah, I think we started that when my daughter was yeah, when I was a carer for my mother, so which I still am. So basically that is yeah, we got that free on the system. But on the other hand, it's cost us an absolute fortune in petrol, time, getting them out of school, and the equipment they sell you to look after the brace. You know, it's 20 quid a time for a box, and we get probably one every other appointment. So every 12 weeks we pay 20 odd quid for this box of stuff, not including mouthwash, etc., special mouthwash. Now, you know, my wife says, oh no, we've got to have the right stuff, but is there anything else the same that she could have used? I don't know. But yeah, so that's as far as we're going today. And you know, if you're a dentist in a practice, how difficult is it, you know, working for somebody else when you've done 5 years or 3 years or whatever it is training? We need to know all this. And obviously, you know, one day you're going to want your own dentistry and you're going to want the prices up. So are you the right person to say whether it's right or not? I don't know. This is what money does, you see. In the other series, the UFO series, there's going to be a section on money. So it might be a good idea to look at that to see what the alternatives are. The government's been told it, but like I say, all evidence of it disappeared for some reason. Probably because the rich want to stay rich and they don't want to be the same as us, on the same level, the same money. Because obviously if there's no money, everyone comes up from and down to a level playing field. But, you know, so that's another thing. And in that system, the centre of excellence system, dentistry works well. Because when everyone's got perfect teeth, they can sit back. You see? Or do less and less and less. And have more time at home for the same benefits. Including the big car if they want it. And the big house. But yeah, so that's it. Right, I'm signing off. This is the Project X Consultancy number 1, Dentists. Tell us what you think. Okay. Oh, I'm going to put an address up. It's still at Project hyphen in the middle. Okay. And we'll put here dentists. You can actually put anything you like here. Dentists, okay? So if you want to write a nice long email and not one on the end of this video, send it there. Okay, thanks a lot.